close your eyes. And just let this song sink in.
Listen, oh, listen, oh, listen, oh, listen, oh, in the arms of the sea, be secure.
Everyone.
Good morning.
So that's Listen O Drop by Ruby, that's Attica Luckett and Lisa Ferraro. This is one of my favorite albums. It's all the poetry of Jalaluddin Rumi, the Persian poet, 12th, 13th century Persian poet set to music. It's so beautiful. So that's kind of the topic today. We're wooing the drop. We're the drop wooing the ocean. So continuing the theme of June, holy boldness, in the theme of the year, which is a grand rising, And today the topic is love is the glue. And what I'm going to do is be guided by some of my favorite quotes about love. Quotes about love that really sustain me. So I'm glad you're all here in person and of course online. Thank you for joining us on the live stream today or anytime in the future. And so we have kind of a fun day today because we had a concert here last night, and thank you, Elizabeth, for helping make that happen with Kathy. Unfortunately, Elizabeth's little Lola made her transition this morning. She crossed the bridge, the puppy heaven. We hug you. I'm glad you're here today. Get lots of hugs because I know she's family. She's family for us too. We love Lola. So, and we have some birthday people in the room and on the live stream. And so we had a concert last night with Circle Around the Sun and the Maledictorians. They were fabulous. And we have some yummy leftovers from that. And then Hannah and Camille brought some delicious treats today. So we're going to have, those of us who are here, we're going to have some social time, coffee, tea, and some goodies. And what I want you to know is that this coming Thursday, we have a live event right here with Patrick Carbula called Busting Loose from the Money Game. It's kind of could be interpreted as a hokey title, but it's a really powerful workshop on cultivating a consciousness of abundance, and it's in person, and Patrick is a great teacher. So that's from 6:30 to 8:30. You can just show up. There's no registration. Just come and bring all your friends. And then in July, we have Bob Simon coming back. I'm playing a song by him today that's hot off the press, and it's really, really beautiful. And what else was I going to tell you? Yeah, next Sunday, I'm on vacation, so Nicolette, Reverend Nicolette from Brookside Community Church is speaking. And she's wonderful. So you want to experience her and just say hello and thank you for this beautiful space. So she'll be here for that. Andrew Dunn will be here doing the music, and Gail Belliardo is facilitating the celebration. So let's do our namaste practice where we put our hands together and bow to one another and we say namaste. Namaste, which is the divinity in me blesses the divinity in you. Namaste. And let's treat our word for affirmative prayer. A breath, one breath, a breath of remembrance, a breath of trusting and knowing that life is unfolding in sweet perfection, regardless of whether we believe it, see it, know it, experience it, or not. And so in this moment, with this breath, we simply remember that there is a divine activity taking place under all that we see, all that we experience. And we call that God, universe, spirit, or love, divine love, or life force, or the life energy. It doesn't matter what we call it because it's all those and then some to the place where it no longer has a name. And so today we call it love. And we explore the mystery of love because as a mystery of love in this human experience, we're always awakening to this infinite idea that love is all there is. And so we let love be the healing force that we need today for ourselves and for each other and for the world and for the planet, trusting that each time that we remember and commit to that, it is a drop in the ocean and it is enough. And so we let today be the blessing that it is, and we come together celebrating this life that we've been given as a gift, trusting it to be gifting us in greater yet greater ways. And so it is.
And so it is.
Is it a little warm in here?
Yeah.
Yeah? I think it might be me. Some of you are like, I'm good, and some of you are like, ah. So, what I wanted to do today is to explore some of my favorite quotes about love, because in our teaching we say love is all there is. But the moment we say that, our ego mind, our human mind goes, yeah, but what about this? Or what about that? Or what about what I'm experiencing now, or yesterday, or tomorrow, right? So we're going to explore that a little bit, and I want to explore it because to me, love is a mystery. And I love that because it means that there's more of that to understand, more of it to experience, more of it to see, know. And so I'm going to share some of my favorite quotes about love with you. And these are quotes that I actually have written down somewhere in my vicinity, whether it's on my bathroom mirror, sometimes on my hand, and on a note in my car, in my pocket, in my purse. So in my journal, because the first page of my journal is quotes that I gather while I'm using that particular journal, and I usually go through 2 a year. So I have these great quotes everywhere, and these are my favorites. These are the ones that really sustain me. So the first quote is the quote by my meditation teacher's teacher, his teacher, Mrs. Tweedy. And she said that outer teacher leads us to the inner teacher, and the greatest teacher is life. Mm-hmm. Isn't that a powerful quote? Mm-hmm. And sometimes what I say is, the outer teachers, because I have many, right? We all have quite a few, some that we wouldn't call a teacher. Right? The outer teacher leads us to the inner teacher because there's only one life. There's only one thing happening. There is no outer and there's no other from a metaphysical perspective. And so the outer teacher leads us to the inner teacher, the inner guru, the inner truth. And the greatest teacher is life or love. What if the greatest teacher for all of us is love? I think that nobody can disagree with that, right? And so love, in a way, is this incredible mystery, but at the same time, it carries and holds this incredible simplicity. Because we hear the word love, or we feel love, and there is okay, there's nothing else to say. There's nothing else to do. There's nothing else to be. There's just to be in the presence, or to be the presence of love in every moment. Every moment is that invitation. And so the whole idea then is that we can say, well, if love is all there is, and if there's that much love, and if love is an infinite thing, how come I'm witnessing so much hate in the world? How come it's so difficult to love this particular person, or these people? Or how come it's so difficult to love myself unconditionally? That's why it's a mystery. And the simplicity is to just do that, to just love. I struggle with this. Anybody else struggles with this idea called love? I do. I struggle with it. I sometimes struggle with it with my own family. I sometimes struggle with it with Norman, my beloved, who I love more than anyone else on the planet, and love more and more each day. I'm blown away that that's even possible, right? And I love this beautiful planet, and I love you, and I love life, and I love myself, and still I struggle. I don't watch a lot of news, a little bit, because I think it's important, and I watch very neutral news. I don't watch reality show news, you know what I mean? I watch like reality news, just basically to know what's going on in the world. A real news, I should call it, and some people might not agree with me, but anyway, so because one of my teachers many years ago used to say the news is just a prayer, an invitation to prayer. It's just a prayer request, right? And so it tells me what I'm thinking, what I'm believing. I get to think about whether I'm in alignment with this principle called love, or I'm out of alignment, and then I know what my inner work is. And I'm having a difficult time right now with what's happening in the world. Let's stand right here in our land. And so I know that that informs my spiritual practice, because there is no outer and there is no other. It is definitely inner, right? And so how many of you remember Starhawk? Starhawk was really big in the 80s and 90s. She wrote the book Spiral Dance, which was so powerful. She's an ecofeminist, she's a pagan, really powerful work, powerful writing. She's the one that said, love is the glue that holds the universe together. Love is the glue that holds the universe together. And we know that the universe is not just out there, it's also in here, because it's all connected, right? And so we surrender to that glue, trusting and knowing that it's the healing glue, the healing power of spirit within and around us. And Ernest Holmes said, I think it's Ernest Holmes that said, love is all there is, right? Like I said earlier. And then when we affirm that, or when we use that as a prayer in our meditation, what it bumps into is not so much where love is not, but where love isn't part of our own belief system. It just shows us our own belief system, right? And so it's Rumi, 12th, 13th century Sufi wisdom, that's not just a Hallmark card or a really fabulous song, but he talked some really powerful wisdom and truth. Most of it was about this thing called love. This is a quote by him. He says, "You are not a drop in the ocean," which probably reminds you of the song that I played earlier, which I'm going to play a little bit more later. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean. You're not just a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean. We know that when we go to the ocean, that it's very difficult to take out one drop. And why is that? That's because the drop is part of the ocean, and the ocean is in the drop. So it's just a metaphor for the presence of love and the presence of spirit within us, never separate. He says, step out of the circle of time and into the circle of love. Time is a human-made concept, right? It has limitations, it has a sense of separation. But when we say stepping out of the circle of time and into the circle of love, it's again that invitation of doing our own inner healing work. So what we get to notice then is we notice where we feel separate from this thing called love. And that tells us a lot, because that's where we get to explore and question, well, what is that? Is that my conditioning? Why do I carry that belief? And why do I still think my conditioning has so much influence on me today? Is that my identity or an aspect of my identity? And why does my identity, or what I think is my identity, still has so much of a loud voice or so much of an influence, right? And so the whole idea is for us to notice where we do not experience this thing called love, because that's our work. That's the invitation. That's the teacher of the moment. And the good news is that there is more love to go around than we can ever take in, because it's an infinite idea. And if there were any bad news, which there isn't, but if there were, it's going to take the rest of our lives to take in more of this infinite idea called love into our own hearts, our body, our mind, our soul, and that becomes the practice. So we notice whether it is unworthiness, or a sense of separation, or a belief, or our conditioning, or resistance, or feeling unworthy, or fighting inside, right? But all of it is based on this thing called unbelief. what we're doing is we're walking around saying, I believe in love, see? Or I don't believe in love, see? And we get to choose how do we bring it all into harmony, into alignment with the truth, principles, and values that we teach that are the basis of most spiritual teachings and most religions, by the way. And so what I have noticed in my life is that what got in the way is that the idea of love being infinite is just too big. It felt to me like I was staring into the sun and I was going to get blinded. That's kind of common if you think about it. If you're trying to take in an infinite idea that is so glorious, a part of us goes, too much, too big. I can't take it all in, it's too much. But the thing is, we can take little sips. We can take little bites. We can embrace it little by little, just a little bit more than we have up until now. And so that becomes a spiritual practice, right? What are some of the spiritual practices that love teaches you? What are some of the spiritual practices that love teaches you?
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness, good one.
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Compassion.
Compassion.
Kindness.
Kindness. So do you think you're at your limit of forgiveness, compassion, gratitude? No, right? We never will be. Because they're also infinite ideas, just other words for love, that we get to practice. The thing is, what we do is we focus on how we haven't done it right, how we haven't done enough, how it never seems to be enough, how it's hard, instead of, oh, I was kind today to the person at the gas station. Woo-hoo. To notice where we are, opening our hearts and our minds and our bodies to love and to compassion and to gratitude and to kindness, instead of where we aren't, because that's our human tendency. Our human tendency is to think it's not enough. But our spirit, the spiritual awareness, our soul, our heart of hearts says it's always enough. Because it's an aspect of what's infinite. It's never finite. So that's a very interesting shift for us to notice. I love what Meister Eckhart says, another 13th century wise person, when he said, between me and God, there is no between. Between me and God, there is no between. What if we said, between me and love, there is no between? Or between me and abundance, there's no between, right? If we start to think that way, then it takes a whole different insight. So we get to then ask ourselves, well, what sneaks in between for me? What sneaks in there for me? A belief in this, a belief in that, my judgment, my opinions, my fight, my struggle, my focus on worldly things too much, right? We all have something that sneaks in there, but we're not always aware because we're just distracted, because Facebook is more important, right? And all the books we have to read is more important, and all the busyness we have is more important, right? You just notice that what creeps in between, right? And so it's I'm never going to know if I say his name right, but it's Nisargadatta. Anybody know how to pronounce that? Nisargadatta. He was a 18th century Indian guru who wrote I Am That, which I just pulled off my shelf again. He says, the real world is beyond the mind's knowledge. The real world is beyond the mind's knowledge. We see it through the net of our desires, divided into pleasure and pain, right and wrong, inner and outer. To see the universe as it is, you must step beyond the net. It's not hard to do. It's not hard to do so, for the net is full of holes. I love that. I'm going to say it again. I think it's so funny. The real world is beyond our mind's knowledge. We see it through the net of our desires, divided into pleasure and pain, right and wrong, inner and outer. To see the universe as it is, you must step beyond the net. It's not hard to do so, for the net is full of holes. Our experience is filled with the in-betweens. And so the simplicity of love as a teacher is that we use it to fill the holes, the places where we feel a sense of separation, a disconnect. So what that means is that we can just relax. We can just let go. Because we don't have to make love do anything. We don't have to turn it on so it starts to work for us. It's already working. We get to trust it. We get to relax into it. We get to surrender. And we get to remember. We get to remember that we are so freaking loved. You and I are so freaking loved by God, by spirit, by life, by love with a capital L, by the truth, by the presence of grace within us, that we can't take it. We can't take it. So we fight and we judge, and we have opinions, and we struggle, and we blame our parents or our past, and we other or outer, but we are so loved. What if you realized more how loved you are? Remember, it's infinite, and how you can take in just a little bit more, just a little bit more, and allow that to spill over into our lives, specifically the areas where we feel wounded, or where we struggle, or where we have heartache, or where we don't quite believe. Right? So what that means is, let it be enough. Let it be enough. Because the tendency that we have is, we walk around with this empty basket that has holes in it, and we say, will you please put a little love in here? Please, please. Would you please put a little love in here? You please put a little love in here? And what happens is we think that love has to come from the outside. And we forget that there is an infinite love already inside, where there are no holes except our own mind, right? And to really know, that's a spiritual practice, that we are so loved because the ocean is in the drop, and the drop is in the ocean, and it's all one, and love is all there is. And so we get to open and surrender and trust it a little bit more. And then we notice where we feel resistance. And then there's a really easy practice. Oh, resistant to love, let it go. I feel the resistance to love, and just let it go. Because you don't have to figure it out. You don't have to change it. You don't even have to treat for it, by the way. I know that might surprise some of you. Just let it go. Just keep noticing and let it go. That's the work of The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, by the way. And so love is a mystery and its simplicity. It's a messenger and a teacher. And we get to be grateful that we are so loved by this infinite presence called God, life, light, life source, the universe. 2,000 plus years ago, the master teacher told us one thing. He taught us one thing. What did he teach us? I can't hear you speak.
Love one another.
Love one another. Love one another. Why is it so freaking hard for us to do? We rather point our finger at someone and say, well, they're not lovable. And so he's not for sure, and she's not, and they're not, and this isn't, right? We keep doing it, and then we're surprised that we struggle with abundance, or health, or creativity, or relationships. There is no other. There is no other. There's just love. And it's ours to remember and to embrace. That becomes the practice. And so what that really means is when we are not able to love the other. It's just saying that we have more room to love ourselves. So there's a very, very famous quote by Marianne Williamson that has been on my mind. She says, hate has talked so loudly for so long. That's one of the things that we're seeing on the news, that hate is louder than love. Have you noticed? Hate has talked so loudly for so long. Greed has talked so loudly for so long. Liars have talked so loudly for so long. Love has got to stop whispering. Love has got to stop whispering. Love wins, no matter what any of us believe. Because love is truth. Love is spirit. Love is divine wisdom. So some of the things that we're noticing right now in the world is a massive breakdown, because there's a massive shift in consciousness taking place. Everything old that no longer serves us, including hate, fear, limitation, lack, has to go, because of all the work that's been done by those who believe that love is our foundation, love is the truth. And we may not witness the outcome, but we sure as heck can participate in the shift. And the more love we bring to it, the more healing we will witness. And so we get to live this thing called love. We get to take little sips and then spit it out. We get to take little sips and share it with those around us. We get to remind everyone, especially those who are struggling. And we get to serve love with every breath and every heartbeat. Remember, what is the greatest teacher? Love. Love. Love is the greatest teacher for each and every one of us. And how blessed are we to be part of a community, a group of people that love so well and love so effortlessly and so easily. We just have to look into each other's eyes and we all just melt and want to hug each other and say, thank you for being you. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for letting me love you. Thank you for joining me in these teachings that are so powerful, so life-transforming, and so blessing and welcoming of everyone. You know, we are a teaching that does not discriminate because of somebody's color of their skin or gender or sexuality or faith. That's a gift to the world. That is love in action. That is being a healing presence in the world. So I'm going to play a song for you that is a brand new song by Bob Sima and Shannon Plummer, who are going to be here next month. And it's called The Holy Green Tree. Some of you have seen it on my Facebook page. And I'm going to play it now. I hope it's easy to find. So I think it will be. All right, Bob Sima and Shannon Plummer. It starts with a little bit of conversation, and then there are letters on the video, so I will read those. This magical man, let me show a teacher, Jesus Eduardo Arduino, inspired this song by sharing a phrase from his culture with me. In Lapec Alpin, I am another you, you are another me. In another language, it means Namaste, Ubuntu. He invited us to sing it at the Ceiba tree. And it was magical.
Through my veins and flowing through your leaves. we carve out our melody. These notes, these bones, these branches, these leaves, these hands, these roots, these valleys, these streets. We are all one breath, one life, one love, one heart, one rhythm, and one soul. Holy, holy green tree.
Isn't that beautiful? Holy Green Tree. It's on YouTube. Bob Sima's song. I'm happy to send it to you. I put it on Facebook. And he's coming here with Shannon to do a concert. It's a bunch of his new music. So that's exciting, right? It's the July 20th. It's a Saturday night from 7 to 9. And by the way, hot off the press, I'm doing another book study program. It's 6 weeks and it's called The Spirituality of Aging.
Ooh. Hot topic.
Based on a book by Kathleen Dowling Singh called The Grace in Living, Grace in Aging. I've been really studying her books for the last 4 years since my diagnosis, when I was first diagnosed with breast cancer, and it really carried me through. She has The Grace in Dying, The Grace in Living, The Grace in Aging, and right now I'm reading Unbinding. So her work is very, very powerful. So it's going to be 6 weeks. It's going to be on Zoom on Wednesday nights, starting in the middle of August. So grab a flyer. It will be in our weekly constant contact. So I want to do a little spiritual practice, starting with the song, and then I'll just lower it and walk us through a guided meditation. So I invite you to close your eyes. And take 3 nice, slow, deep breaths. And allow each breath to be a little bit deeper.
Listen, oh,
Listen.
listen, oh,
Listen.
listen, oh,
Listen.
listen, oh, in the arms of the sea, be secure.
In the arms of the sea, be secure.
In the arms of the sea, be secure.
remember that there is within you, within us, an infinite ocean of love. It is always radiating into the world we inhabit. It is always returned to us, multiplied abundantly. And so now let's infuse that awareness with the deepest, richest compassion for ourselves. Because a part of us thinks it's never enough. And right now, the infinite ocean of love within us can just rinse that out and rinse it away from us. We can literally let it go right now. So all that's left is the activity of divine love, knowing there's always more where that came from. So let it sweep away those ideas that get caught in the net or in the in-betweens. And know that each of us are a perfect, literally perfect instrument of divine love, because each of us are unique. There's no other like us. Each of us are unique as instruments of divine love, and therefore in that uniqueness there cannot be any lack or limitation. It's always divine right action. And today we can trust this more deeply than ever. And so feel that sacred yes in yourself. Yes. Yes. Maybe say it out loud. Yes.
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 So take another breath, and with that breath, bring yourself back and open your eyes. So all of you who are here are invited for a lovely social hour, some leftover goodies from the concert last night, and Hannah and Camille brought some delicious goodies. And let us take a moment to feel the gratitude for being a part of this community as we share our abundance. That abundance can come in many forms. It can come as a gift, a way that you financially support our community. So I'm going to pass the basket. And some of you, it's a way to serve or volunteer. For some of you, you hold us in your prayers. All of your presents and your gifts are welcomed and very much appreciated. Just like Hannah and Camille, somebody signed up to do this, although I messed up a little bit. So next week we have Elizabeth, if you're still up for it. And then we have Kat and Jean Lee. So there's some spaces on here for the middle of July and August if anybody wants to sign up to do social hour. That's another way to give. And we're selling t-shirts, so if anybody wants a t-shirt, they're for sale. And let's do an abundance affirmation together. Right here and right now, I welcome abundance in all of its forms. I let go of an idea
I let go of an idea
that there isn't enough
that there is enough
of whatever.
of whatever.
And I open my mind, my heart, my body, and my soul
And I open my heart, my mind, my body, and my soul
to the greater good.
to the greater good.
And so it is.
So it is.
All right, let me double check and make sure.
I just wanted to mention,
Yeah,
for whoever who has gluten allergies, so it doesn't contain gluten, and it doesn't have dairy, but it has eggs, nuts, and dates.
all right. Thank you. Yes, and you know what? Stand by the table in case if somebody has a question. But I'm definitely going to partake of your snack because that's right up my alley. So let's do a closing treatment, which is our word for affirmative prayer. So right here, I know that there is a presence that flows through me. I know this by my heartbeat. I didn't have to plug in today. It just beats. I know this by each breath. So today I more consciously realize the mystery of love by means of my body, my mind, my heart, my soul. And when I say my, I, me, I'm simply speaking from and to that divine presence that is inside each and every one of us. So I invite you to hear it as such. Remembering that each breath is sacred, that each heartbeat is the heartbeat of the universe. I trust that I have whatever I need to move through life with grace and faith and trust and the sweetest love and compassion, the easiest gratitude, and that is my contribution to the healing that is taking place on this beautiful planet. For the oneness of all life, meaning that everyone is my brother and sister, everyone is family. And so today I'm guided from the principle of love instead of the principle of fear to be of service to love, to be more kind, to be more giving, to be more trusting, and to be the instrument of love that only I can be as a unique individualized expression of the one. And what is dissolved by means of this word is anything that's in the way, whether I'm aware of it or not, and I joyfully release it to wherever it came from and trust that I am more and more the instrument of divine love. I'm so grateful for that, for now and forevermore, and so it is.
So it is.